Hey guys, and welcome to another video about Goddess Victory, NIKKE. As you know, Laplace is coming to the game very soon. So today, I wanted to talk about whether you should pull for her, go over her strengths and weaknesses, and her overall value as a character. A quick disclaimer before I begin, if you like her because of how she looks or for any other reason, always feel free to go for a character that you like and enjoy using. But I'm going to be looking at a more objective look from a meta perspective to help you decide if she is the right character for you. With all that said, if you find this video useful and you enjoy my content, please drop a like and subscribe. It really does help out my channel a lot. And with all that out of the way, let's jump right in. As some of you might know, we already have an early look at the whole kit and all of the abilities for Laplace. While yes, some of the things are still subject to change when she gets released, it's very unlikely that she will be much different if ever changes are actually made. For those of you who are not familiar with her kit, I will briefly go over her skills. Laplace is going to be an SSR rocket launcher unit with the iron element. She has a burst type 3 and her burst skill has a 40-second cooldown. Her first skill, called Heroic Mission, increases her normal attack explosion range, and this effect can last up to 5 seconds and stack up to 5 times. Her second skill, called Hero Bomber, has a passive effect that lets you deal extra damage when your last bullet hits. And her burst skill, Laplace Bomb, deals a pretty big initial damage and replaces her weapon with a laser cannon. This weapon deals continuous damage and has a 10-second duration, and it also has a penetration effect, which means it goes through enemies, letting you hit multiple targets when they are grouped up. Looking at her skills, you don't need to see it in-game to know how strong she will be. She has a lot of AoE damage, and her burst skill is sort of like a different variation of Snow White's burst skill. She will be great in stages where there are a lot of enemies, especially in defense stages. But before you pull for her, you really have to take a look at your current roster to see if she's the right character for your account. Right now, we have 20 burst type 3 attackers in the game, and Laplace will be competing for one of the at least 2 burst type 3 slots in your team of 5. You would generally only want to have a handful of DPS characters that you will invest in, just because of the fact that skill upgrade manuals are not easy to come by, and the upgrade costs are insanely high, especially past level 4. So what I would do is that I will take a close look at my main team, see if I can replace any of my best DPS characters with Laplace, and also see if my current supporting characters will work well with her. Laplace preferably needs support characters who can reduce skill cooldowns, increase charge attack damage, increase charging speed, and increase attack, crit rate, and or crit damage. Personally, I find it really hard to recommend pulling for burst type 3 characters, not unless they bring something new to the game that will potentially open up new team compositions and enable some of the underperforming units. We can take a look at Helm as an example. She is a burst type 3 character with decent damage, but damage is not the only thing she brings to the table. She has a lot of buffs that she provides to her team, and she can let you get away with using a team without a dedicated healer because of the life steal she gives to her allies. And as I mentioned earlier, we have 20 burst type 3 attackers, and most of you probably have more than enough for your different teams. Plus, everyone can get a private for free. A lot of the burst type 3 attackers we already have are really good. So if you're looking to pull for Laplace just to get a better character to progress, I wouldn't necessarily say that a new DPS character will be the solution. You also have to consider that if you mainly want to progress, you would want to go for character duplicates instead of new characters, so that you can get your characters to level 200 faster. If you're a high spender, limited banners are a good option, so you have a better chance of maxing out a unit earlier. But for other players who don't spend or only spend a little, this is not a likely option. Depending on the results after the community has thoroughly tested Laplace, she may or may not be the right character for you, especially if you already have characters like Scarlet, Haran, Snow White, Alice, and even Privity. Indicates that Laplace might be better than some of the top tier DPS you already have. You have to ask yourself if the amount of gems you will potentially have to spend is worth it for a bump up in power level. Personally, I will be trying to get her in my second account or even in my main account if I feel like it, just for content purposes so I can make a guide. I will spend the gems that I currently have, but I wouldn't go as far as to spend all my mileage tickets to get one copy of her, because there's just a lot of upcoming characters that I personally like more. Another reason why I won't be losing sleep when I end up not getting her is because I already have a pretty good selection on burst type 3 characters. I have characters who cover long range stages, close range, and even ones with additional supportive capabilities. So if that's the same case to you, I would really recommend that you skip this banner if you are mainly focusing on meta. I will make a follow-up video when she gets released to see if my opinions about her value as a character changes or not. Good luck on your pulls if you're planning to go for her, and for those who are not going for her, hopefully we get new information about the next character's kit. With all that being said, that is why you should or should not pull for Laplace. And as always, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.